This might be a bit harder, but what you want to do, take some clay and sculpt it into, I guess you could say like a rectangle of the sort, and then tip it up like this. So, you know, do that. Make sure it's a pretty good size. For Shadow, you may want to make it a bit bigger. His shoes kind of are a bit bigger anyway. And if you want him to stand, then I recommend you sculpt it a bit bigger. And this tutorial will be a perfect example on how to lay stuff down in the oven, because I know I think everything else we've made up to this point has been pretty much like standing up. We could stand up in the oven, but this shadow is bigger than everything else, and you know it has more components, and it's not going to stand. So this will be a good way to show that. Okay, for the red, just make a long thing and flatten it, and then once you flatten it, take this. Trying to do some tricks with this camera here. Once you do that, take this and kind of put it, on the shoe. Put it all the way back and around. Something like that, which looks pretty good. Now a few, before we do that actually, I'm going to put the black on, and then I'll show you a trick that I like accidentally learned. I just stumbled upon it, on how to get like the ridge in the beneath on the shoe. Just make a standard triangle and put it on. Like just regular triangle. Actually, I'm not sure if the black stuff goes all the way around. It might. Again, that just depends on the artwork, I guess. So, just pay attention to whatever artwork you're specifically sculpting from. But, I mean, all of this is generally going to be the same thing. The triangle. Either there are two triangles, or just, make two and put it all the way around. For the sake of this, I'll just say that his shoes are like this. Okay. We do have to put stuff on the we do have to put the little ball things on the bottom. Again, I'll show, like, I'll do one thing at the top or whatever, like right up here, but then I won't put them all the way down. You could just copy that one like 3 or 4 or 5 times. Just take some yellow. I don't know how much you'd need. Pretty much as much to cover up the whole bottom of the shoe. And just flatten it out, and just kind of work it on the bottom. See what I'm doing? Like, kind of like that. And make sure it stays down. Okay, that's pretty good, because Shadow has his like light things or whatever on the bottom. So that was that. How I do go about making those little circle things, I'd make, you can see that right there, small circle, maybe that's a little bit too small, flatten it, and then put another really small black dot on the middle of it. Let me see if I can pick this up with like a toothpick, because like that. And then again, this is a bit small probably, but then you could get really fancy with beneath the shoe, and you could flatten it, and if you had a bunch of them, it would look really good. So now here's where that little trick comes in. His shoe has like an indentation right here, and I've tried forever to like sculpt it in 2 parts, but all you really need to do, maybe we should have done this before we put all the detail on, but all you really need to do is kind of just take a toothpick and stick it in, like, here, and just either rub it back and forth or like end up cutting it, because then what that'll do is it'll, underneath, you probably can't tell much from above, but underneath, yeah, you could fill that up with yellow right in the crevice there, but just cut it, and then you get the 2 parts. so it's easier that way, I find it, than sculpting it in two parts. Okay, there's the shoe. I'll attach it to the leg and then I'll make the other one separate. Again, like this, and put it on the leg. This is on the side of the leg, by the way. I'll attempt to put a toothpick in the leg. I don't know how well that'll work, but we'll try it. Because I don't want to make the legs too thick, but at the same time, I feel like they're, not thick enough to even to hold the toothpicks. So, oh, this one actually works good. Could have been a bit longer, maybe. And then stick it in, and there's Shadow's leg, which we will then stick on the body, but not right now. That was, you saw one leg. I'm going to do the other leg in the shoe, and then we'll put all this together. You guys probably wouldn't have wanted to see me sculpt the other leg because it took me like another 10 minutes. So, got some green here. Why? Because I decided, we might as well do a Chaos Emerald just to be fancy. Because I'm not going to get too fancy with this, and I actually never really have gotten fancy with the Chaos Emerald, all we're really going to do is make a diamond. Honestly, like, not a diamond, but, like, a shape that's like that. I mean, we're going to... let me zoom in a bit. There we go. I mean, just take it, whatever. You can even roll it into a ball if you want to. Point it at the bottom, and then make it flat at the top. Then you can curve the edges or whatnot, but in the reasoning of the shadow, I'll just do that. I mean, it looks pretty good. So he's got his Chaos Emerald there. There we go. Okay. So now what we're gonna do is try and assemble this thing. I think it would probably be best to put the head on last, but even so, I'm still going to put a toothpick in there. And sometimes I'm just gonna point this out now. Is on bigger models or more complex models, it might be best, and this is a lot of times what I do, like on the Ridley, if anybody remembers that from Video Game Playthrough Model 6, what I did is I sculpted everything in a separate part, put toothpicks in like this, made little indents, and then baked everything, and when it came out, I just super glued it all together. So that could be an option if you were sculpting something bigger, but because this is, I don't think this necessarily needs that, and I don't think it'll help it stand at all if we do that after the fact. Sometimes it helps a model stand up if you glue it on after, but I don't think it'll really help it in this fact, seeing as Shadow's head is just so heavy, so we won't pay attention to that rule this time. This hand was previously put on from before because it's just on his chest, so I didn't think I needed to, put any toothpick or anything in it. Maybe his head is. Maybe his head will be supported enough. I guess because we made the feet big enough. But, I don't know. I'll adjust the, let me adjust. Let's try it. Let's try the head first. I guess that would have been better. I didn't think it would have, because you would have had to be careful about it then. Kind of just softly twist it on. Like that. Okay, now I guess we can put these on. Just hope there's enough toothpick to go around. And that will go like that. I just gotta trim up the toothpick here, because this should be noted too, that sometimes when you're trying to put it on, the black rises up and it covers more of the toothpick and you don't have a good enough grip, so you won't have enough to put it in the actual body. Like, you won't have enough toothpick to shove into the body, essentially. Then you can just be fancy with the pose or whatever. I actually think this one will stand up, but I'll still explain what would happen if he didn't. So, okay. Essentially, if he didn't stand up, what would be the best thing to do is lay him down in the oven, something like this. It's kind of obvious, but and the way you'd lay him down is you wouldn't want him to lay on anything like, because it'll probably get stuck to him. So, laying down in a spot where if something was to get, because the clay settles when it's in the oven, so setting down on something that if he settles, it won't bust the whole arm or anything like that. So probably on the back like this would probably be the best posture for him. But I don't think we need that because some clay miracle made him stand up pretty well. I did not intend for that to happen, but I guess because the shoes are so big that it made him stand up. So that's pretty cool then. I'm gonna put him in the oven and we'll see what it looks like when it comes out. After what seems like forever, we finally got our shadow done. Now, I'll be the first to tell you, truth be told, yeah, he fell over in the oven. I didn't think he was going to, but that's the trick about these type of things. You think you have them secure and they're going to stand up, but as they start baking, they harden, and the head must harden before everything else, and then, that throws off the whole thing and it falls over. So I'm going to say probably for future tutorials and for this one, just lay them down. Even if you think they're going to stand, just lay them down, just to be safe. Lucky for me, this one still stands up. So, that was just luck there. But aside from that, I think this is a pretty good shadow. Yes, especially for the time frame I had to sculpt it in, because like I said, I didn't want this to be, if it would have taken probably close to an hour or more. If I actually recorded everything, I was just trying to give you guys the gist of it. So, or, more than the gist, but you guys know what I mean. Like, if I actually tried to, if I showed you guys everything, it would have been like, you would have got bored and left. So, he's actually in some sort of, it almost looks like he's like, how he runs, he does that weird thing. So it actually looks like he's in that kind of a position. That actually looks pretty cool. Happy accident there, but yeah. So anyway, aside from the posture that he's in now and the fact that he fell over, that's Shadow. This is Shadow. That's roughly, not roughly. I'll say yeah. That's how I sculpt them. So thanks for watching, guys. Once again, any requests, I'll take them. I'll try in for future videos, kind of like the Shadow. What I did is I'll say, I'll sculpt one arm and then I'll cut the other arm out so you can see how to sculpt one so they're not as long. I don't know if any of you guys got bored or anything. So I'll gladly take on more challenging characters, but just let me know. So thanks for watching, guys, and expect more tutorials sometime or videos. But until then, Finn.